So, we're going to talk today to an open API, one of the most disruptive distribution marketplace. That's so I heard. Welcome on board, Amit. How are you today?
Brilliant. Thank you, Christina. Thank you to the panel. Thanks to everyone joining from home. We at the Hyperguest solution. Hopefully that now I'll be able to show you the correct content, and apologize for this hiccup. Basically, we founded the company after, I think, 12 years in the business, and we're seeing focused on the barriers and the amount of cost and missed opportunity that these barriers between hotels and the companies that sell their business. And we believe technology can solve this. Technology can make sure there is zero barriers between hotels and demand generators. But today we know that's not the case. You know, it's a well-known secret, this spaghetti of connectivity. Uh, they have connectivity between supply systems and demand system. On top of that, the spaghetti of commercial aspect, whereas the need for contracting, the need for payment facilitation, the need for know your customer, for operational relationship, and so on and so forth. Really, this holy grail of working directly is hardly ever met. You know, we all see the great power when we talked about it in the previous session of the massive OTA consumer brands. We want to balance that with the concept of direct. We invite our customers to think again about the idea of direct. Direct is not just a website of the hotel. Direct is also a direct presence inside the screen of your B2B partner. And this is what we allow you to do. So today, the solution that exists is the intermediation, which is costly, which it's probably the most expensive channel in the industry, which gives us the most amount of headache. But here there is a huge opportunity. There are demand players in the regions that really specialize in getting business into your hotel. And unfortunately, today, you don't even see them. They are behind the bed bank or they're behind a static contract. You don't have a way to modernize them, but they could be an amazing ally in your objectives. That's what we're here to do. So the Hyperguest platform is probably the first in the world of its type to be a cloud-based contracting system, contracting marketplace and full life cycle automation of the booking. We connect to, and we'll talk about connectivity again in a moment, but assume the connectivity issue is completely solved. There's one point to connect that opens up the entire market. Doesn't matter what region, doesn't matter what country, but this is a highly fragmented, highly regional market. And then allow you to focus on the business. So if it's a direct contract, with a few clicks, you create it up, and then this partner starts to get dynamic rates from you, and that reflect your arrangement and agreement with them, and the commission and the promotion and everything you want to give to this partner versus that partner. On top of that, you have the idea of segmenting the markets. Finally, start to be strategic about your B2B segmentation, to say, I want to work in one way with corporate customers from Germany and a different way with tour operators from the Caribbean. So I can define strategy and work directly. Again, we're expanding this concept of what does it mean to work directly, even when there is no contract. So sometimes folks are kind of like, how can it be direct with no contract? This is the innovation in the concept of marketplace. And that tour operator, in order to sell your product, in competing with all this consumer-facing competition they have, they need to get your dynamic rate, they need to get to your static data, they need to be able to deliver your booking directly to you, and they need to be able to pay you. All that is fully solved without you having to do any effort or any work. So why would you want to do that? There's a few main use cases, that we've been seeing. The most basic one is stop paying so much for intermediation. The moment you take out intermediation, Hyperguest is a platform that is free for the hotel and does not do any markup. It is just a free connectivity solution for the hotel. You don't have to pay as much for intermediation. You work directly with your partners. Second very common use case is to take control of the regional needs, but as part of a holistic centralized solution that the corporate is in control over, that extends the corporate technology harmoniously across all the regions without having to have this kind of chaos when it comes to the needs and the localization needs of different regions. Issue of static contract is a huge pain point in some areas, and we work with chains that now are happy to say they are free of static contracts. that used to be the case, and these prices are leaking where you don't want them to leak. They are limiting availability. They're creating tremendous operational overhead, double booking, and so on and so forth. So either automate those or just get rid of them, because you're lowering the barrier of those two operators to work with you dynamically. And now they can, be as sophisticated in their business with you and have all the power to sell your product. And finally, all this is based on something that plugs and plays into the existing tech. This is not rip and replace, introduce a new process, introduce a new set of technology. It is a standard channel on almost any CRS, PMS, channel manager. For the last two and a half years, we've completed over 200 API certifications. So for the hotel side, it means any ARI source, doesn't matter what you're using now, what you will use in the future, what hotels that you will acquire, what they are using, all that is already brought into harmony and connected. And more importantly, is on the demand side. So that's a huge fragmentation, a huge localization there that you will never see the end of that, and that's our business. We are every week adding more and more connectivities. We never have a chance to create a slide with each and every connection that is out there. We've made a platform that's extremely easy to connect to. And even demand players that don't have any technology, we allow them to book as well. So with a no coding approach to consume your product. And it's all in order to consume your product organically. And you should be in the first spot rather than being there by a Expedia or a hotel beds and so on. So that is where you're selling direct inside of the feed of these demand partners according to your distribution revenue management strategies. So the fundamentals of working with Hyperguest, to keep in remember, are three of them. First, there is no cost. It's not a markup partner. On the one hand, it looks like a B2B partner, but it's completely different because it's fully transparent. Second is fully in the control of the hotelier. Huge difference from how we used to work with B2B, that you put a price in a black box and you lose control of what happens. Here, you control every aspect of the product, who gets it, who doesn't get it, who gets it in an adapted way, in a very fine manner. So we always say the hotel is not paying, but the hotel is the king. And finally, it's a very powerful, extremely scalable system, but it's also very simple. There's a highly automated setup. It is a standard channel in your existing system. So all of that create we call it a no-brainer proposition, to welcome and join. It's a system that's seeing accelerating momentum. So tremendous growth in the number of searches that it's seeing, in the number of booking it's delivering, in the number of demand players that are joining, and in the number of hotels. We would love to see your bookings, your hotel write the next chapter in a growth of bookings. So welcome you to, if you're not already connected on Hyperguest, to come and enable this channel, work with us to distribute your product. Thank you very much.
All right. You're on mute, Christina. This is almost the end of the day, guys. Huh?
I was just saying to myself, that's a brilliant presentation. I think it's a concept that many hotels have in mind, how to eliminate a lot of those multiple layers when it comes to working with various wholesalers, a lot of those paper contracts as we know them. So let's take some questions. Corey, tell us your feedback here, especially that you come from a group where there's quite a lot of contracted business.
Sounds very good. Actually, I like it very well. The presentation, Amit. Thank you very much for sharing such a very insightful ideas and concepts. I like it especially when you were talking about that direct. It doesn't necessarily means web direct, but also having direct presence with your B2B partner. I think this is a very powerful message. But I'm also looking at the spaghetti that you presented, and it's true that the world of distribution is getting more complex and complex. Everybody buys everybody, and there is that level of complexity. So there is a very powerful solution, what you are presenting. I would like to to copy the model of Martin, and adding two questions in the same one. And first one is, if there is no fee for the hotel, what is the business model then? So definitely there is the main question that may arise for me. And then I would like to understand a little bit better what is the impact on the capillarity for a hotelier? What is the incrementality in terms of volumes according to the premises that we discussed before?
So in terms of our business model, we charge a transaction fee from the demand partners. So we're building a marketplace. Think about, Amazon, Alibaba. Any marketplace decides who's going to pay, what's the business model. For us, it was very important to create zero barrier of consideration from the hotel side. We chose not to charge the hotels at all. We have a transaction fee. And even on the demand side, our pen transaction is intentionally low. Again, think Amazon and so on, but much, not at those level of percentage. We don't want to become a wholesaler in another disguise. We have a very low percentage transaction fee that is taken to the demand player. If we take the perspective of the demand player, think about if you wear the hat of a CTO of a tour operator that now gets a mission to work directly, and they look at the channel manager landscape, which is so tremendously fragmented. For them, it's a godsend. This is a word that they often use when they see Hyperguest, because now they have one solution that opens them so many different hotel partners to do direct business with. So they are saving, if you look at the economies, what the intermediator would take versus our transaction fee is usually 10 times. So there is no, it doesn't take any time to calculate the ROI of this Hyperguest technology fee, which is 1% and below. And what was the second question, Corey? Can you repeat it?
No, I was
second half of the question. Sorry.
No, it was very interesting. No, thank you. It's related to the level of incrementality that a hotelier will expect from joining in this type of solution. Understanding what is the capillarity that I'm gonna get compared to a normal model, and when I'm working with Hyperguest, what will be the incrementality that I will get as a hotelier?
So, selling on Hyperguest is a little bit like putting a campaign on Google. Okay, you decide what you're going to pay, but you may not get as many bookings. You can say I'm giving 1% commission, and that offer will be presented. We are not a wholesaler that we knock on the table and say we demand this big commission. So with great power comes great responsibility. Then we work with our hotel partners. We analyze what's going on, and we show them price competitiveness over time. This is part of a relationship. It's not like a push the button and a solution. So the revenue manager can understand where they stand, where they have leakage problems in the B2B space, because we always see the leakage in the B2C space, but there's a whole world of leakages in the B2B space. And finally, we look at those. But at the high level, okay, when we analyze the business of the tier one bed banks, they typically take, 20 something percent. When you see it, what the final agent is paying is less than many cases less than 10%. So there is a lot of fat, to scrape from that bucket, depending how deep you're able to go. So one way is to say, okay, let's analyze my historical business in my chain and see and identify partners that are, a good fit and go after them. We call this bring your own demand. We work with the hotel to actually onboard, and we very quickly onboard partners. We are adding, we added in the last quarter 50 new partners on the demand side, and we are constantly growing on that side. And one of the main growth area is that the hotel tell us, these are the partners that have booked me, but they sometimes book me through a more expensive intermediation, and I want to go direct with them.
Very interesting, Amit. Thank you very much.
Excellent.
I think it's me,
We can take, yes, absolutely. Daniela, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, I'm not sure I understood it all quite, but it might be because it's nearing the end of the day. Corey asked what I wanted to ask, so I had a bit hectic to find another question. But in short, I'd be interested to find more information on the demand side, and based on that, who is a suitable hotel? Is that more corporate, more groups, more leisure, resorts? Is it everything? Because it depends, obviously, who on your side is with you as a demand player. And is that somebody who has an interest in my destination, or then in my resort, then in my hotel? Or how does that work? And why would, if we talk about traditional tour operators, wholesalers, whatever it might be, why would they change? They work with us through channel managers, they work with us through direct connect, depending on who it is. So why would anyone change?
Thanks, Daniela. So to your last comment, definitely we are not a channel manager. We're not here to replace what is currently working with your channel manager, but there's a whole range of businesses that are booking either with you or with your competitors through intermediation. And those actually those could be very large players. Those definitely are in the corporate space as well as in the regional OTA space and to operators. So we have some regional OTAs that are quite sizable in their markets, where we are their extranet provider. Instead of them developing one channel manager after another, they rely on Hyperguest as a source of ARI, basically the source of direct connectivity. So it could be regional OTAs. It definitely could be a corporate booking platforms, and it's those two operators looking at the resorts. So we are spread both geographically and across segments. I don't think there is a speciality here that I can say that's selling more than others. We are also focused geographically on multiple regions, strong presence in Latin and Central America, growing now in North America, strong presence in Europe, big office in Spain, in UK, in Turkey, and through Asia. We're big presence in the Emirates, in India, even Australia, New Zealand. So that's something that we can analyze, going into a particular business to see the current needs. On top of that, we work with the hotels to connect the demand partners that currently can't connect. So if they are using an FIT static rate, or if they are using a bed bank, they're not. See, the channel manager doesn't accept everybody. It's very tough to become a channel on a channel manager. Most of the requests are getting, in fact, they get referred to us. Channel managers are sending players to us because not everybody is a fit for the channel manager. And sometimes we have these OTAs that actually say, I need a massive technology partner that is solving all the channel manager issues for me. So those different profiles are there.
All right, thank you.
Martin, coming from resorts and high-end resorts, how do you find this model? Any questions for Amit?
Yes, just one question. Thank you, Cory and Daniela, for still me the question. Just one. Well, it's clear that you are here. Your model that you propose is to eliminate intermediaries. That sounds really, really interesting for a hotelier. But what the agents think about your solution? Because I talk to them and they tell me the service of the wholesalers and the incoming companies are very valuable for them. What is the value of the wholesaler, for example, for Hyperguest?
Right. So that's a question, that compares to the price. I mean, what price tag you willing to pay, and they are very price sensitive. Many of the travel businesses, their business model is extremely challenged, and the day-to-day of their existence in some cases has to do with their margin. So if we talk about the margin of the hotel, it's much more severe when you think about the margin on the demand side. So the service of hotel beds doesn't come for free. They put in their pocket maybe, I don't know, some analysis. I don't have official numbers, but I think out of the 23, they would put 10-12% in their pocket and sell onwards. That wouldn't surprise anybody, I don't think. So that's and it's not that we expect them to disconnect one source and connect another one. Basically, we will plug in as another source of supply alongside Expedia and hotel beds. And then if this hotel, if you or your competitor is giving a better commission, they will make their decision. So this is where, again, this model allows the hotel to say, I will give an incentive, as well as, by the way, good service. So now, because now in Hyperguest, the agent has the service contacts of the hotel. If the agent know that this hotel stands behind their booking and they give me good service, they don't need hotel beds. They need hotel beds because they want to have leverage with the hotel. Okay, so if you can give good commission, give good service, we are an enabler. Okay, we are. If you want to have successful B2B strategy, you can give them a good price, reasonable service, and save a lot of money on the distribution cost.
Thank you, Amit.
All right. So just let me add in one point, which is very important. That as I'm part of Hyperguest, guys, what is the feeling that, based on the conversation I'm having also with those demand partners, what they really like it, and they discover in this aspect really strategic, the fact they can have this. When we talk about direct relationship, is not only from the hotel perspective. So, and when we talk about transparency, it's not about only from the hotel perspective. This is exactly the same from the other side. So when a demand partner is interested to get in touch with the NH group or your Fuerte group, for example, they can do this easily. Okay, we can facilitate those introductions and moving the relationship from the open, not pre-contracting, no friction relationship to a customized relationship where each other can set up their own terms and condition, commission, deploy rate plan, net gross rate plan. So this aspect, which is not at all possible for those players, they're using, of course, in a great way those B2B platform you mentioned, Martin. But at the end of the day, if they want to have this direct relationship with you, unless they go around and find a way, but they are not facilitated at all, because they want to keep those guys a little bit away from the hotels direct relationship. So that's our game changer here. Making those people talking each other directly, easily, and increase the margin from both sides, right? Okay, so thank you, Amit. Thanks, my friend. I'm sorry you had some trouble initially with the slides, but I hope.
Thank you, everyone, for your patience with that terrible hiccup at the beginning. You were very gracious about that, and it's good seeing everyone.
Thank you. Bye, Amit.